And without further ado, welcome back to part 2. Okay, where we left off, yes, they created the civilization of Atlantis. This civilization was run through wisdom. The people who had awakened became the driving force behind what was to take place. The sleepwalkers sort of attended to them, and the humans that couldn't awaken just accepted the miracles that happened, and they were just content to live safe. Now, as the old saying goes, power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. But the mages themselves were not absolutely powerful. This is what they wanted. A few mages of extreme hubris spurned their wisdom. And in doing so, they wanted to take the easy path to power, as is a flaw in the human soul. And to do so, they wanted to cross their physical bodies over into the realm of the supernal, so that they could directly manipulate the powers of creation itself. They could basically become true gods. Okay, they would become omnipotent. Now, to do so was a huge collaborative effort in the people in the mages who believed in this. And what they did, and now the structure of this is never completely explained, so this is down to the GM to have his own theories, and I certainly have my own theories on what this is. They constructed the celestial ladder. It was an object of immense power that bridged the final gap between the physical reality and the supernal. Okay? Now, as you might expect, when they finished this, humans being what they wanted to be, they didn't actually want to share this power with anybody else. A massive war broke out. It rocked the foundations of reality. It nearly tore itself apart. And in the very end, those few mages out of the hundreds who managed to scrabble up the celestial ladder, they collapsed it. And in doing so, this sundered the link between the supernal and our reality. It just annihilated it. So, and this formed in its wake. So you have the supernal here, you had the reality just below. Now you have the supernal, and now the abyss, and then the reality. The abyss is a realm of true spiritual nothingness. It's the realm of lost souls. It's the realm that, it's very... To get to the other side is an immense miracle in itself. 5 mages who were coveting this power made it to the top. These mages became known as the Exarchs. It's not known whether or not they sundered the celestial ladder, on purpose. The fact is, it happened. But what it is known is that they did scrabble up to the top to gain ultimate power. However, 5 other mages also transcended. These mages realized the true danger to the fabric of everything that is if these 5 left in charge. These 5 became known as the Oracles. Now, essentially, when this happened, time itself kick-started. This is when the concept of time arose, because in this way, leaving all this metaphysical stuff behind, Atlantis was destroyed, humans were again scattered, okay? Now, there's a gap here, and this is going to run into werewolf stuff, but I'm not going to cover that just for a moment. Essentially, what happened was, when the abyss formed, it cut off the deep link. Every soul, awakened or not, or awakened to the power of the supernal or not, still had a small link to the supernal, and obviously, it's through that link that obviously all these horrors and whatever, all their dreams could come to light in the real world, and how they could all manifest and all this stuff. Now, when the abyss formed, it severed that link, and standard humans fell into a state of slumber. They called it the Great Sleep, right? Their souls can no longer accept, their souls can no longer accept the concept of magic. as soon as they saw magic, that soul would instantly try and defend itself against... We're not sure, actually. It tries to defend itself, and this is all it's left as. What it's trying to defend itself against, we're never actually told. But essentially, as soon as it sees magic, it disbelieves it. And as soon as it and basically, depending on the power of the disbelief, a mage's effect may become nullified, and that soul disbelieves it to the extent that it even forgets that it ever saw it. This is where a lot of mages' sort of philosophy and problems come from, and all this stuff. When the Abyss was created, at the first time, humans, for the first time in ages, were capable of existing in the fallen world that was created. The fallen world was unique in that because spirits can no longer very easily pass on to the supernal realm when they died and share their experiences, this created a mirror image. It was like new laws had to be created to keep the physical world running in wake of the supernal not being there, and this created what was known as the shadow realm. Essentially, think of it as a darker mirror image of the real world, where, say for instance, we have a tree in the real world, where in the shadow realm, that tree would manifest as a spirit, as a governing spirit. Now, these spirits weren't exactly what you could call benevolent. They're in fact, they regard as humans as an energy source. They had all the valuables of humans in that they wanted to. They had a hierarchy. They wanted to rise to the top of the pile. They wanted power, and basically the two realms could influence each other. At that time, though, I call them two realms. In actual fact, they were directly linked by what was known as the border marches, and basically a spirit could cross over into the human realm, take physical form, no problem. Human cross over into the spirit realm, take spirit form, didn't matter. They cross over freely. That's for werewolf. And to be honest with you, until we come to werewolf, I think that's probably where we're going to leave it as well. So essentially, yeah, the humans, or the mages, were first responsible in creating that great divide between what was essentially heaven and the physical world. And that, in turn, was responsible for creating the shadow realm, and also through human. Well, in fact, I'll come to that later. But yeah, so the humans were responsible for shattering the link between the spiritual and reality, and in turn, because of that, because the world needed a governing set of rules, the shadow realm formed at its side, the realm of spirits. Okay, I'm going to leave that here. That was the origins of the world of darkness according to Mage. Now, werewolf, as I've now been reading it properly, picks this up and carries it on, and I will come to that in werewolf. Needless to say that, as I said before, because humans are no longer dreaming nightmares into their own world, they could to some extent exist even without Atlantis. But yeah, we'll leave it there. Look for the werewolf thing if you're interested in a couple of days. I'll pick it up and carry it on. I'll then go a little bit into vampire. I'll need to reread that, and then I'll give my own impressions on, who I think the Exarchs were and all this stuff. When we get to that point, yeah, this is my interpretation of what's happened so far. When we get to that point of my own feelings about it, that's completely my ideas and my thoughts. So you might want to stop watching at that point. I don't know, but that's my take on it. That will be my take completely. So if you're a GM, that's absolutely. I mean, what I've been giving you so far has had fact in it. Even though it might have been my interpretation, but what I give at the end of all this will be completely my own ideas on how everything interlinks. So GMs, take your own opinions and make them work, okay? I'm going to leave you. So this has been my two-parter on the origins of the world of darkness according to Mage. Next time will be the origins of the world of darkness continued from Mage into werewolf, and then we'll have the origins of the vampires, but that's really not too explicit, to be honest. It's not very huge. And I'll also tell you about the nature of the supernal and all that stuff, because after werewolf I'll have to go back to Mage and it just gets a bit complicated, so I'll keep switching around. Have a good day, have a good week, lads. Catch you later, take care. I'll see you on my next video. Cheers, and see you soon.